Good afternoon to you. Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com, here with your Hurricane Outlook and discussion for Thanksgiving 2019, November 28th, 2019. Happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. Real quick, I am very thankful for you guys, for the support, the encouragement, the positive comments, the engagement, the feedback. It's all absolutely incredible. And, you know, this is about the 23rd year that I've been doing this as a career. And I've been on YouTube since about 2006, I believe it was. And this whole social media thing, the global reach of it all, and what it has allowed me to do, reaching out to a lot of people, getting to know so many people around the world, and certainly in the United States specifically, because of my work in hurricanes. It's very important to me. It's meant a lot to me. And a lot to my family as well, allowing me to be able to do this as a job and earn a living doing it. And so I want to thank you very much for that. That is one of the greatest gifts that you can give somebody, is the ability to allow them to be creative and to do what they were put on earth to do. And you allow me to do just that. So thank you very much, and a seriously happy Thanksgiving to you. Now on to the business at hand. Looking at global storm coverage here from the University of Wisconsin site. The only tropical cyclone is over here in the western Pacific, Typhoon Kammuri. That's how I'm going to say it until proven otherwise, until I stand corrected. This is going to be headed into the direction of the Philippines and could be a pretty serious impact event for that area. So we will be watching this very, very closely, to be sure, over the next several days. Here's what it looks like on satellite. Still getting its act together. Back over to the track real quick. I should have pointed this out. It's kind of milling around right now in this early phase, but once this weakness to the north fills back in, the ridge of high pressure has kind of collapsed, so that's allowing it to gain a little bit of latitude very slowly. But once that fills back in, the ridge of high pressure, this will take off again to the west, maybe even a little bit south of west, and track into the Philippines, maybe very close to Manila and vicinity. So we're going to need to watch that closely. On the satellite imagery, it's kind of disheveled today. Again, it's moving slow. The atmosphere is not perfect right now, but I think things are going to get more conducive, and this is going to develop. Maybe, you never know, especially in the Philippine Sea, maybe this becomes a super typhoon down the road as it approaches the Philippines, so we'll be watching for that. The global forecast system, the GFS model from this morning's run, the 12Z run, outlining the Philippines right through here, the northernmost island of Luzon, and Manila is roughly in here. Here's Taiwan, just to get your bearings, in the eastern part of China. So if we put this into motion, we see what happens. If I can put it into motion, there we go. So it stalls out, just kind of milling around, then it gains that west to west-southwest motion, strengthening. Very, very compact system overall, not your super giant size typhoon. And then it tracks right into the northern part of the Philippines there. Near Manila is what it looks like it could do. When? Well, that looks like it would be about 114 hours out or so. So between 4 and 5 days, maybe sometime around December 3rd. So we'll be watching that very, 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 very closely. Trust me. All right? Okay. Next, lower 48 weather. Again, wow, what a pattern. One storm system up here in the high latitudes exiting Atlantic Canada, getting in on the action there. If you're in Nova Scotia or Newfoundland watching this video, let me know in the comments how your weather is. It looks like that's kind of nasty up there, maybe rainy. Not too cold. You do have the water there that's pretty warm relative to the air temperatures anyway, and so it's not brutal yet. Plus, it's still November. If this was January 28th and we had this kind of pattern, holy smokes, man, we would be talking about massive, big-time winter storms, but we're just on the beginning side of the winter weather ramp, you know, the roller coaster ride, really. And it's very similar to hurricane season. And this is a big reason why I'm going to focus more over the years to come on winter weather, because the parallels to hurricane season are really striking. in the beginning of hurricane season, sometimes May, June, July, whatever, we don't have much to worry about, and those systems are usually not too strong, but once in a while you can get one that sneaks through. Same thing in the early part of winter. Most winter storms in November are not too bad. Occasionally, though, you get a doozy, but they're pretty rare. Later into the winter, especially the heart of winter, mainly from about mid-January through very early March, late February, and about the first 5 to 10 days of March, bam, the switch is thrown just like when we get to about late August through the end of September for hurricanes. The nor'easter season, especially here for the east coast of the U.S., in that time frame, latter part of winter is when it really cranks up. But all that being said, we'll watch and see. Right now, this is a big enough pattern to be sure. Look at this storminess over the Bay Area and point south towards L.A., getting closer to Nevada. Subtropical jet coming in here, dual jets there. This is an amazing pattern. It really is. And it's going to set up for tremendous amounts of moisture being dumped on this region. Flash flooding in the low elevations, heavy rain, high elevation snows, travel issues. You know, there's positives and negatives to this. You need the water supply out there, so this is definitely going to help with that. But the travel nightmares and, you know, the dangers of the weather itself need to be taken into consideration, so please pay attention. But I'm going to tell you, if you like snow and skiing and snowboarding, all the areas out west, this is going to be very beneficial for that. But again, weather does have consequences if you're not prepared for it. Blizzard conditions for portions of the high plains up here. Wow, just what an incredible and exciting pattern. And remember, the word exciting doesn't always mean positive, right? It's true. Excitement does not necessarily mean it's good. Like, hey, we're going to Disney World. That's exciting. Sometimes it can mean, oh man, it's exciting on the sort of ominous side. I think you catch my drift. If you've been watching my videos long enough, you know my angle on this kind of thing. We get excited about the weather, but we have to respect it and, you know, hopefully learn from it. And this, again, I look at this and you say, man, what a patchwork of watches and warnings out there. At least today, the eastern part of the country, you know, a good third, almost half, you know, some fraction there in between is pretty good, except for right up here along the mid-Atlantic, kind of windy up here, gale and storm force offshore, but not too bad in the east. It's over here, generally west of the Mississippi, that things are rather nasty. Blizzard warnings up here in the high plains, winter storm warnings, all this pink color in here, flash flood in Arizona, Montana covered up in most of it in winter storm advisories, etc. Just, it really does marvel me when we see something like this. And, you know, you just got to be aware. What can I say? I wish I could be everywhere at once. I wish I had 1,000 webcams everywhere, and I can pull them up and show you. I do have a few, and here's one of them. I've been itching to show you this. This is our live Nest Cam that is hosted for us from a good friend of mine in Pahrump, Nevada. Where is that? That's just on the other side of Las Vegas. And this is what it looks like right now as I'm recording this video. Now, the beauty, if you know Nest, if you have a Nest camera, we use these in our unmanned camera systems. These are how we do the unmanned cameras these days that are live. We have our GoPros that back them up. But, you know, a Nest outdoor cam, you can pretty much put it anywhere. And so our friend Paul here in Pahrump, Nevada, has it out on his radio tower, and it's looking towards the Spring Mountains. That's what these are over here. And I know you're like, well, Mark, there's just some hills there. It's kind of covered up. True. So let's go back in time. That's the beautiful thing about the Nest cameras. I mean, technology. This is so freaking cool. This is what it looked like several hours ago. And Las Vegas would be right over here on the other side of the mountain range, 60-something odd miles away. Mount Charleston is right in here. Something like 12,000 feet or 11,000, 12,000, something like that. And it's snow-covered all throughout that area. And if I scroll around on the timeline, just kind of punch in, you see what's happening. I just began rendering a time-lapse. It takes Nest several hours to make time lapses these days, which is a bummer. But when they are done, they are really cool. And I'm going to post that on my Twitter in a few hours once it's done. So be sure to check that out. But this is what it looks like out west, all that snow cover from all the storminess. And this is just going to get even more snow covered because, as you can see throughout the day, the clouds have lowered, more moisture coming in, and there will be more snow in that part of the world. So very active pattern, and again, Pahrump, Nevada, generally out in this area. So there you go. All right, coming up over the next several days, this is what the upper level pattern looks like. That's the rainbow colors that you see there. That's the 500 millibar level of the atmosphere. And then these lines you see in here all over the place, those are the isobars. That's down at the surface, lines of equal pressure. And then you have these low pressure centers right at the surface, also plotted from Levi and his plotting and coding genius at tropicaltidbits.com. So if you know your meteorology, this is a big old trough. Cold air out here, energy in the atmosphere, troughiness in the pattern there. Shortwave trough, at least shorter length. See, it's shorter. This one's longer. This one's shorter. Moving off of New England, not too bad. And then a nice ridge in the middle for now. But this is going to change over the next few days. We go out every 24 hours on the Euro, and that's what we're looking at here is the European model from this morning. So here's tomorrow, and then on that's Friday morning, and then Saturday morning. I tell you what, the high plains up here, big time blizzard for some areas. Wow. Omaha over into parts of eastern Wyoming, western portions of South Dakota, northwest Kansas, eastern Colorado. Holy cow, that's going to be something else. Wish I could be there for that. Unbelievable. Have to dial up some traffic cams. That moves east into Sunday so that Iowa down and east from there, Illinois, up into Wisconsin, maybe even Chicago, Illinois. Oh, man, Indiana. It's just, and this is a big travel weekend. People will be heading home Saturday and Sunday. And then look at this. Monday, okay, low pressure offshore of New England, right south of Nantucket, Martha's Vineyard, and then the upper level energy lagging to the west and southwest just enough. Will the two be able to connect? Is there going to be enough blocking? If this map was larger, you'd see that Greenland over here, much farther away, high pressure kind of blocking things over there, that this storm wouldn't just get out. It kind of gets stuck. And so the upper level energy can catch up, and they phase. And when that happens, you get this. Oh, see, it's trying. That's an interesting look there. This is Tuesday morning, and you've got the energy just offshore in the mid and upper levels, the surface low down to about 983. This is 5 days out, and this is the strongest that I've seen the Euro yet with this system. All those isobars in there, windy, eastern Massachusetts. So Mark here is seriously considering making a trip up to eastern Massachusetts, thinking about Scituate down to Marshfield and vicinity. What is it, Brant Rock up there, I think it's called. Maybe Cape Cod, we'll see. I'm looking at it, so stay tuned. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. But for you folks in this area, you know, if you're the winter weather weenies like I am, and a lot of us are, this should have your attention because it could mean quite a snowstorm, maybe 5 days out. So we'll wait and see. It's just like hurricanes, folks. When we say, "Ooh, there could be a hurricane in 5 days," you know, those 5-day forecasts in Hurricaneville are subject to a lot of uncertainty. Same thing with winter storms, especially when something could affect New York, maybe Philadelphia, up through New Haven, Boston, Cape Cod, wherever, right? Millions of people, Portland, Maine. Yes, we have to take this seriously, but don't get freaked out about it just yet. We'll let you know when that time comes, when the milk and the bread, so that you can make your milk and bread sandwiches. When that time comes, I'll be sure to let you know. And you'll know because I'll say, hey, I'm going to be on the road, and I'm going to go up there and observe it, study it, report from it, whatever. Do what I do in the winter version of tropical storms and hurricanes. Nor'easters, that's what we call those coastal storms. All right, well, that is about it. I hope that you are having a good Thanksgiving with the family, hoping, watching some football or basketball or just hanging out. Maybe turn off the electronic devices after you watch this video anyway, and spend time with family, because that's the most important thing that you have, that and the time spent with them. Yeah, you can get on each other's nerves once in a while, but you put all that aside, enjoy the time together. And I enjoy having you as part of my extended family here in the world of the Internet. Again, what an amazing thing, and I thank you for that. Alrighty, I am done. This is it. I'm going to head out and play with my kids and family and have a good time with them. You guys have a great rest of your afternoon. Thanks as always for tuning in. I am Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com. I'll be back with more for you tomorrow.